Each day that you wake up is another day that you've faced all the problems of the past and whatever, like you can keep moving forward. Hi, I'm Gabe.
Hi, I'm Ash.
And we're Foley.
We're a two-piece pop-funk kind of duo from Auckland, and we've been in a band together for nearly 4 years, is it?
Big 4.
Whoa! We both got into music separately, quite young, both of us, eh? I kind of started in high school in a really cute little girl band, and then we met when we were both in Smoke Free Rock West in our separate bands, and became mates. And then after maybe like 4 or 5 years, we started writing music together, and then that's when Foley started. And here we are today.
I think a lot of the inspiration for our songwriting comes from just chats that we have together as mates. Like, we've got such a sort of strong friendship and a really solid base that we just vibe off each other and, talk random stuff, and that evolves into the concepts that we talk about in our songwriting.
Yeah, I think most of our sessions start with like a really big chat about what's going on in our life with, the two of us, and then also anyone else we're collaborating with. It doesn't surprise me that so many creatives suffer in that way. I think a lot of it is, everyone always talks about like imposter syndrome as this thing, but I think it's very real to put that kind of pressure cooker on what you're doing, because musicians are constantly going, I should have achieved more by now, or we should have done this, and you're always kind of constantly thinking about the next thing.
And writing songs is a very vulnerable thing to do as well. Like, you put a lot of pressure and a lot of meaning and emphasis on the words that you say, and it's really introspective, so you're always looking at your emotions, and that can be quite jarring as well, so it can be quite scary.
It can be kind of confronting too, to put yourself in a situation with other people where you have to write music together and talk about your deepest, darkest sometimes. I think being a musician is also kind of isolating sometimes, because a lot of artists are working on their own, they're in their own head, it's their own thoughts.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced some struggles with my mental health and things around stress and anxiety, and just trying to be as busy as possible and accomplish all these things. I feel like together we're quite good at bouncing each other off and making sure that we're kind of on track and not burning ourselves out and things like that. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, likewise, I've definitely struggled with anxiety, panic attacks, that kind of thing. But also, a lot of people in my life have had quite severe mental health struggles as well. So I've learned a lot from looking at, my family members and friends who have potentially had it worse than I have. But I've learned a lot of lessons about how to kind of look after my mental health from that, and the things that can be triggers, or the things that can really kind of keep things a little bit more manageable, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Music is definitely one of those, it's quite a therapeutic experience to get everything out, I think before we were writing so much, a lot of the time I would just open up a note in my phone and write out all this stuff I was feeling, and then which is actually really helpful.
Yeah, it's cathartic.
Yeah, but music has kind of become that, because we're writing frequently enough that we're sort of vocalizing things a lot. But also for me, exercise is a massive thing. I kind of discovered maybe a year and a half ago that exercise is a real helpful thing for me. I think if I could speak to my younger self, I would just say be patient, because I think a lot of musicians in particular, or creatives, are kind of told that everything has to happen really quickly and overnight, and that's led to for me personally, a lot of the pressures I put on myself is that, if you haven't done this by the time you're 18, you've failed, or, especially women in the industry, there's kind of this layer of that you have to have done everything by the time you're still really young. But I think that narrative is completely false. There's a lot of really successful creatives who have been grinding for a really long time and finally get to the place they want to be, and have had a really amazing journey. And that's actually kind of what I want more, is for us to enjoy the whole ride.
But also, I'd say that, things are going to turn out all right. Things are going to be good. You're going to get to where you want to be, and, you're going to have a great time doing it.
We're Foley.
And we're Voices of Hope.